Okay, in this video, what I want to do is talk to you about uh, branding your product. This bucket bag was the last video that we made, and we did not put a label in it. We did not brand it any kind of way to put our mark on it. And one of our viewers picked up on it and contacted me and asked, how do we brand our product? Well, this one we did not brand because I was waiting for our branding iron to come in. We had ordered a branding iron, and we have always used labels. We have always used the woven labels to brand our product. The only problem with these is that they're fine for a large product, but if we had, let's say that we had this cuff here, there was nowhere to put the label. So these are the woven labels. So there was no place to put this so it would be appropriate. And if we took a smaller piece like this and we put this on, for the scale, it's really too big for this small piece. So we really never put them on the small piece. So these pieces were going out and they were not marked. So what we did was we had a branding iron ordered, and it have the tip on it that screws off, and you can submit your design and they will make the tip I mean, I don't care how detailed you have it, they can make it exactly the way you have submitted it. Now, just to kind of show you what it looks like. Well, let me back up for a minute. The labels, we purchased these probably 7 years ago, and we purchased 2,000 of them for I think $400. Well, we're still using them, and which they're not bad, but it's just that we're very limited with what we can do with them. Now with the branding iron, we purchased this for 200 I think it was $260 from LW Leatherworks, and this is a you want one that will that can dial up to at least 500 degrees. Is that right? 500 degrees? 500 watts degrees. You need for it to be at least a 500 watt. I have seen these online that was, like 170, they'll dial up to like 175 watts. But I've known people that have those and they were not pleased with them because they would not get hot enough for certain types of leather. So it's easier to go ahead and buy one that will dial up to 500 watts, because in that way you don't have to repurchase it again. And so we decided to just wait until we can afford it, so we didn't have to repurchase something again. And a lot of companies sell these. I've seen them for like $500, $700. But like I said, this was the best price and the quality is great. The only thing that I did not like, but it wasn't a big deal, I didn't make a big fuss about it, is that this dial here, it did not fit the way it should. So I just put a piece of tape inside of the insert, and then just put it on, and it stays on fine. This area doesn't get hot, so that's not going to bother it. So since we have the branding iron, now we can brand our smaller pieces. So in that way, we don't have to send out or sell our pieces and they're not marked. This is another look of what it looks like. We branded it here, and I think we branded it, yeah. We also branded it on the strap itself. But this branding iron, I think, is great because you can cut pieces of leather, brand it, and then attach it to your product. You can cut a piece of leather, you can put a eyelet in it, put a piece of leather or a chain that you can take it and you can just let it hang from your product, maybe from the buckle, or you can decide on where you want to hang it, but you can hang it from your product. So the branding iron versus the woven labels. The labels, now you can get these almost anywhere now. If you go to Etsy, you can find them, and you don't have to pay as much as I paid because you don't have to get as many. Because nowadays, the way people are making them, they're so easy to come about. You can get them a lot less than what we paid, which was $400. Now, the only thing about purchasing this branding iron from LW Leatherworks is that it is a 220 plug, and in this country we use 110. So you will have to purchase a step down, step up transformer, and I think this was like $60. I got it. We got it from Amazon. So just keep that in mind. I'll plug it up and show you how it works. Okay, just to kind of show you how this works. Now, one other thing is that this branding iron did not come with any type of stand to hold the iron when it's hot. So this is basically just a little stand that you use to hold a plate or some type of picture or something, a picture frame, something like that. So we just use this as a stand to hold it, because you don't want to just take it and just set it down when it's hot. But your step down transformer have two plugs, two output. One is a 110 output, one is a 220 output. You want to plug it into the 220 output, because what you're doing is that you are taking this 220 and you're putting it through a transformer that is going to convert it down to a 120 input, which is coming out of the wall into here, which is 120, and then it's converting it to 220, so it can operate this this branding iron. So we turn it on, and it takes maybe a couple of minutes. But what I have did with this one is that I'm going to start to where it's like at 450, and then I'll dial it back, because different leather will take a different amount of heat, because you could over brand it, and so you have to test each piece that you're working with. So every time you're working with a different type of leather, you need to test it and make sure that you have it at the right setting, that it doesn't, because you can't burn it to where it's you can't even read it. So you have to tweak it and get it at the right heat. So let's see if we have anything. Okay, it burned it, but it is pretty light. Now, when I branded this leather, it kind of shrinked, and so that's why you want to be careful with the heat and the amount of time that you keep the branding iron on the leather. So but it's pretty light, so I can see made, but I can't really see in the USA. It's not. So now I know this is going to be too much, but I didn't leave it on that long. So that would probably be the right amount of time for this temperature for this leather. So let's get this leather here. This one will come out much better. See, this is a much better brand here. Oops. This is a much better brand. But I'm gonna dial it back. I could dial it back or not leave it on as long as I. So that's a good looking brand here. But I'm going to dial it back because it's still too hot, because I only had it on there for a couple of seconds. And it's probably still at the same heat that it was at. So I would start off at about 200 or 250. So we'll dial it back to 250. It's still very hot, so I'm going to let it cool down a little bit at 250, and then we will brand it again. Okay, we'll let it set for about 4 minutes at 250, and I'll put this back on here. See, I can leave it on much longer this time to get it branded. So I'm going to do it again. Like I say, now that's much better there. I can read the made in the USA. So that's the other thing. Like I say, you want to make sure that you test it, tweak it, get it just where you want, and to where you know how much time to leave the branding iron on your leather. Some leather will brand much better because this is much thicker. It's not going to shrink. But just to kind of give you an idea, now this is a very thin leather here, but we was able to brand it and it came out just fine. So, but it was a matter of testing to make sure that we knew how much time to leave it on there. This is a thin leather. Now this one came out good, but I should have rocked it to the right just a little more. Now that's much better right there. That's much better. See, I can read the made in the USA. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but that is much better right there. And this is a much thinner leather. Now this is a different type of leather. And that's even better. You can read that one even better. But so the key to it is to test it and to dial in the temperature that you think it should be at, and also to make sure you know how much time to leave the branding iron on your product. So I hope this was some help to you, but I really like the branding iron, and we really look forward to using it. We have not used it on, we have only used it on like 3 products so far because we just got it, but we look forward to using it. Again, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. If you know anyone that want to work with leather or like working with leather, pass this on to them. And again, thank you for watching our videos.